Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going over the day 11 matches for the 2023 World Darts Championship. This is taking place Wednesday, December 28th. There's an afternoon and evening session, each consisting of 3 round 3 matches. Round 3 matches are first to 4 sets. After looking at this lineup, there's going to be some really close matches like there were today. Can't wait to watch them. Let's get into it. First match in the afternoon session, Ryan Searle versus Jose de Sousa. Searle made the last 16 in 2019, 2021, and 2022. De Sousa made the last 32 in 2021 and 2022. They played each other 4 times, and Jose took 3 of those. None of those were majors. The winner of this match plays Gerwin Price in the last 16. First glance at these stats, and they're near identical. Power rankings. Jose's 15 points higher on TV, pretty much negligible. Averages within 1 point, first 9 and first 3. Jose slightly higher. For 180s, Jose is about 1.5 times more likely to hit one, but checkout percentage, Ryan Searle has 4% higher, and he's over the 40% mark. Darts Oracle saying 53% for Ryan Searle here. Pretty much a coin flip. Let's look at their second round matches and see if that gives us any more help. Searle played Ryan Gavlas, and he won 3-0. He had an 88.6 average, 47% checkout, 180 and 7 140s. De Sousa played Simon Whitlock and came back from a 2-0 deficit. He ended up winning 3-2 with an 86.75 average, 36% checkout, 5 180s and 17 140s. Adam averaged 82, so he didn't put up much of a fight against Searle. And Whitlock averaged an 86, so he was keeping up with De Sousa, but also wasn't playing that great. Just looking at these stats here, you can't really pick a winner because they're pretty much identical. You'd have to go with who has the experience in this spot historically, and that's going to be De Sousa. Ryan Searle has a history of choking in the business end of big tournaments. Jose de Sousa historically starts playing better under pressure. That being said, I got to pick de Sousa to win here in a last leg decider, 4-3. Alright, next up we have Danny Noppert versus Alan Suitor. Noppert's made the last 32 for the last 3 years, while Suitor made the last 16 last year. They played once this year in a Players' Championship, and Suitor took that one down. The winner of this match plays Gabriel Clemens in the last 16. Let's take a look at their stats for the year. Power rankings, Noppert's 30 points higher than Suitor, and he's approaching that 1900 mark. 95 average versus 91. 5% higher on checkout for Noppert. First 3 and first 9, both around 3 and 4 points higher for Noppert. Just looking at this, I'd have to agree with Darts Oracle and say Noppert has a better chance to win this one. Let's look and compare their previous match stats. In the first round, Suitor won 3-0 against Mal Cumming. He had an 87 average, 36% checkout, and 4 180s. That's decent, but it's not good enough to beat Noppert. Let's see both of their second round stats. So second round, let's start with Suitor here. He won 3-0 against Gurney, which is one of the 3 upsets of the seeded players in the second round. He had a 92 average, 47% checkout, 3 180s, and 12 140s. This match, Gurney averaged a 91 with a 30% checkout. Suitor definitely picked it up between the first and second round. Definitely played better in the second round than he did in the first. Let's compare this to Noppy's second round, where he won 3-1 against David Cameron. He had a 95 average, 58% checkout, 6 180s, and 16 140s. You can't deny that that's not a great performance from Noppert, and looking at his yearly stats too, you got to pick Noppert to win this one. I think this is the end of the line for Suitor, although you got to love the guy. I'm going Noppert to win 4-2 here. I think Suitor's going to put up a fight, 4-1 or 4-2. I think Noppert's going to be ready for this though. Alright, match number 3. Gary Anderson versus Chris Dobey. Another very close match in terms of stats. Anderson won this tournament 2015 and 2016. Dobey made the last 16 in 2019, 2020, and last year. They've played each other 10 times in the past, with Gary winning 8 of those. One of those being a major. Dobey took that down. That was the 2019 Grand Prix. The winner of this match plays Rob Cross or Mervyn King in the last 16. Looking at their yearly stats, let's start with the power rankings. Dobey's 36 points higher on TV. Their averages are near identical, checkout percentage identical. First 9 and first 3, they're all around 104. It's crazy how close this matchup actually is. The only difference I'm seeing is Dobey hits more 180s. Let's look at their second round match stats and see who's in better form. Starting with Anderson, he won 3-1 versus Razma in a pretty entertaining match. 96 average, 31% checkout, 4 180s, and 16 140s. Compare that to Dobey, he won 3-0 versus Martijn Kleermaker. 86 average, 47% checkout, 5 180s, and 8 140s. 10 points difference in the averages here, and Anderson played a tougher opponent. Razma averaged 91, where Kleermacher was only averaging 85. Since it's such a close match, and Anderson has a history of making it deep in the Worlds right when he needs to, I gotta go Anderson to win here. As much as I'd rather have DOBEY win, personally, just looking at the numbers in Gary's history, I think he shows up for this match and takes it down. 4-2 or 4-3. Now on to the evening session. We have the match of the day, in my opinion. Joe Cullen versus Damon HETA. Cullen made the last 16 in 2021. HETA made the last 32 last year. They've played each other 8 times in their careers. Cullen's won 5 of those. They've played in 2 majors against each other, and Cullen's won both of those. They were both this year, the Grand Prix and the match play. The match play is where Cullen was an underdog and ended up beating HETA 10-2. The winner of this match plays Michael Smith or Martin Schindler in the last 16. Looking at their yearly stats, power rankings, HETA's only 14 points higher. Looking at the averages, HETA's got about 3 points. Their 180s are identical. Checkout percentage, HETA's one of the highest on tour, if not the highest, approaching on 45% versus 39 for Joe. Looking at their first 9 and first 3, Joe's floating around 102, while HETA's around 106, 107. Let's take a look and compare their second round match stats. Cullen won 3-1 against Ricky Evans. He had a 95 average, 42% checkout, 7 180s, and 13 140s. HETA won 3-0 against Adrian Lewis. Everyone thought it was going to be a tighter game than that, but Lewis just got stomped. He had an 82 average. In this match, HETA had 96 average, 56% checkout, 4 180s, and 8 140s. Looking at the round 2 and yearly stats, it's clear HETA is a bit more consistent with scoring and checking out than Joe is. But in situations like this, you got to look at the big stage experience and what Joe's done this year just in comparison to HETA. Joe had match darts to win the Premier League. He also beat HETA 10-2 in the match play and beat him in the Grand Prix 2-1. I think this is going to be in HETA's head, and that's why Joe's going to take this one down. 4-3. Next up, we have Michael van Gerwen versus Mensur Suljovic. Michael won this tournament in 2014, 2017, and 2019, and Mensur made the last 16 in 2011, 2016, and 2018. They've played each other 25 times. Michael's won 19 of those, lost 5, and they drew once. They've played in 2 majors, where Michael took both of those. They didn't play one match in 2022, but since 2020, Michael has been 4-0 in matches. The winner of this match plays Dirk van Dijvenbode or Ross Smith in the last 16. Looking at their yearly stats, Michael's approaching 2,000 points on the power rankings on TV. It's absurd. Close to 200 points higher than Mensur. 6 points higher on averages for Mike. Almost 4 times as many 180s. 3% higher on checkout percentage. First 9 and first 3, around 108 versus 100 for Mensur. Looking at Darts Oracle, saying 90% for MVG to win here, I have to agree just looking at the yearly stats already. Let's look at their second round match stats to see if there's any recent form that might come into play. MVG beat Louis Williams 3-0 with 102 average, 50% checkout, 3 180s and 12 140s. One of the best performances of the tournament so far. He won 9 legs to 1. Mensur also won 3-0 against Mike De Decker. He had an 88 average, 30% checkout, 3 180s and 13 140s. Looking at these numbers, I gotta go MVG 4-0 on this. 4-1 if he's having double trouble. Alright, and the last match of the day, we have Michael Smith versus Martin Schindler. Smith made the final of the Worlds in 2019 and last year, where he lost to Peter Wright. Martin Schindler made the last 64 in 2018. They've played each other 10 times, Smith winning 9 of those. They've played 2 majors against each other, both in 2019. Smith won both of those. This was the Grand Slam group stage and the Players' Championship finals. Since 2020, they played 5 times, and Smith won 4 of those. The winner of this match plays Joe Cullen or Damon HETA in the last 16. Looking at their yearly stats, starting with power rankings, Smith's over the 1900 mark and 100 points higher than Schindler. Smith's averaging 2 to 3 points higher, 3 points higher on the checkout percentage. First 9 and first 3 around 3 points higher than Schindler. Looking at the 180s, Schindler has a lot. He has 425 180s on the season, which is, I'm guessing, top 20 out of everyone playing. And Smith almost has twice as many. Smith's the first person to hit over 700 in one season, which is crazy. Oracle saying 70% for Smith to win. Just looking at these numbers, I'd have to agree with it. Let's take a look at their second round match stats to see recent form. Smith won 3-0 against Nathan Rafferty, and he didn't give up a leg. He won all 9 legs, and it was over. I think the match was maybe 13 minutes long, counting breaks. He had a 96.62 average, 39% checkout, 3 180s, and 14 140s. Nathan didn't show up that day. He only had an 82 average, and he was 0 for 10 from doubles. Schindler won 3-1 versus Lukeman in a great match. He had a 93 average, 36% checkout, 6 180s, and 17 140s. You might be looking at the 6 180s and 17 140s for Schindler and comparing it to the 3 and 14 for Smith, but you got to look at how many legs they played overall, and Schindler ended up playing 18 legs versus the 9 that Smith played, so it's not really comparable. Overall, I think Smith's going to take this one down, but Schindler's going to put up a fight. That 93 average against Lukeman, that was a really great match. I enjoyed watching that. Got to go Smith here, though, 4-1 or 4-2. I don't think we're going to see a last leg decider in this one. All right, guys, and that's it. Let me know what you think about these picks. I'll be making a video soon for the last 4 round 3 matches, and then we're on to round 4 and so on. Take it easy.